A lot has been happening in the world recently, and many people are underestimating the gravity of these events. These developments could have serious consequences for the global economy and our daily lives. One particularly significant topic is the intersection of cryptocurrencies and US policy under the influence of Trump. Let's dive into this discussion with a striking example. After Trump announced his plans to return to office, he made a bold statement. He intends to make the United States the world's largest cryptocurrency powerhouse. He's also introduced tariff policies, threatening to increase tariffs on any country that challenges the dominance of the US dollar. The implications of these actions are immense and could potentially trigger the next financial crisis. Now, why does Trump support cryptocurrencies? And with his backing, could Bitcoin reach $1 million? Before we analyze that, I'd like to share my personal stance. I've never held Bitcoin or any other virtual currency, and I don't plan to in the future. Imagine if someone who's never been interested in Bitcoin suddenly tells you to buy it. Wouldn't that raise some questions? Now let's look at Trump. In 2019, while serving as president, Trump publicly criticized Bitcoin, calling it a tool for criminals and money laundering. But today, he's changed his tune, using his influence to drive Bitcoin's value higher from over $60,000 to nearly $100,000, with even greater heights anticipated. He's even boasting about using government power to purchase Bitcoin and turn the US into a crypto haven. Why this sudden shift? Let's think about it. Let's consider some key figures in this space, starting with Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy. Once a critic of Bitcoin, Saylor has now become one of its biggest proponents. MicroStrategy's stock has skyrocketed over the last 5 years, even outperforming Nvidia, the leader in AI chip production. How? The company adopted a simple yet risky strategy, borrowing money to buy Bitcoin. As Bitcoin's value increased, they leveraged their profits to buy even more. Recently, MicroStrategy spent $1.5 billion on 15,000 Bitcoins. Such massive purchases inevitably push Bitcoin prices higher, creating a cycle where others also rush in to invest. Behind this phenomenon are influential figures, including Trump and his allies, who are heavily invested in Bitcoin themselves. This creates a self-reinforcing bubble. The bigger the bubble grows, the harder it is to predict when it will burst. If Bitcoin's value plummets, companies like MicroStrategy, heavily leveraged on Bitcoin, would face immense pressure to sell. This cascade effect could lead to a financial crisis similar to past bubbles, like the 1997 Asian financial crisis, the dot-com bubble of the early 2000s, or the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. So, why is Trump now backing Bitcoin? To understand, we need to revisit the history of the US dollar. Initially, the dollar's value was backed by gold. However, in 1971, President Nixon decoupled the dollar from gold, leaving it reliant solely on trust. Over time, this trust was reinforced by agreements, like the petrodollar system, where Saudi Arabia traded oil exclusively in dollars. But recent geopolitical events, like the Russian-Ukrainian war, have led many countries to diversify their reserves and move away from the dollar. Countries like Russia, Iran, and China are increasingly bypassing the dollar in trade. Even Saudi Arabia is open to accepting other currencies like the Chinese yuan. With diminishing trust in the dollar and rising US debt, Trump may see Bitcoin as a new pillar of strength for the dollar. By accumulating Bitcoin and pushing its price higher, he aims to create a system where the dollar is backed by cryptocurrency, restoring global confidence in the US financial system. However, this strategy comes with risks. The more the US government and private entities inflate Bitcoin's value, the greater the bubble. When it bursts, the financial repercussions could be catastrophic. Now, let's discuss another major player, the BRICS nations: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries are working to establish their own payment systems and reduce dependency on the dollar. For example, over 70% of trade between Russia and China is already conducted in their local currencies. With the BRICS nations gaining momentum, can Trump's strategy succeed? Imagine this scenario. A wealthy family doesn't grow its own rice and relies on others for food. Now they want to be self-sufficient, but impose a 100% tariff on imported rice. Would this strategy make sense? The wealthy family will end up buying expensive rice. Similarly, Trump's aggressive tariff policies might backfire, especially when key players like China, South Africa, and Brazil find it more beneficial to align with each other than with the US. On the other hand, China's dominance in rare earth production and renewable energy materials gives it significant leverage. Sanctioning the US might spur American innovation, but it also strengthens China's industrial ecosystem. Meanwhile, Trump's policy contradictions pushing for lower interest rates while battling inflation highlight the complexities of his approach. Today, we face two looming threats: the dollar crisis and the cryptocurrency bubble. Both have the potential to trigger a financial tsunami. To protect ourselves, we can take two paths: avoid risky investments like cryptocurrencies and diversify our assets, or leverage the current momentum to make gains while managing risks carefully. All in all, Trump's strategies and the global shift away from the dollar are creating a precarious financial landscape. Whether his plans succeed or fail, the consequences will be felt worldwide. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree that Bitcoin is the future? See you in the next video.